Good morning and welcome to the 8:15 Daily Operations Weather Brief. Currently, we are experiencing some largely broken skies out there this morning with some upper level and mid level cloud cover, which is slowly clearing out from our immediate area as a cold front continues to push through. Our temperatures are currently in the 60s and expected to climb into the low 80s today, with winds remaining generally light and even turning variable at times, especially during those overnight hours in the upcoming period. And our humidity for today is notably lower compared to our previous days here on the shore, and as a result, or more so in conjunction, our rain chances will remain rather low, with only a slight chance of showers come tomorrow morning. Now, moving on to our most recent surface analysis chart here, we can see that we have a nearly vertically stacked low pressure system over central Quebec, and that does have an associated cold front extending down from eastern New England down to the coastal Carolinas, and out west we can see a strong Canadian high pressure that is continuing to build southwards across the northern plains and the upper Midwest, and that surface high will begin to shift eastwards over the course of today through the Midwest and continue moving east through Wednesday, which should create some pleasant conditions here with highs around 80 today, lower humidity, and cooler lows tonight coming in around mid to low 60s. And then come Wednesday, we'll see some very similar conditions as that high pressure system builds into the local region here, and we should see yet another pleasant day Thursday with partly cloudy skies expected and highs in the upper 70s to lower 80s. As for our current weather conditions this morning, we are seeing a broken deck at 6,000 feet and another broken layer at 22,000 feet with 6 statute miles of visibility, and winds are generally out of the northwest at 4 knots, and our temperature is at 66 degrees with a relative humidity of 70%. Taking a look at our satellite imagery from this morning, we can pretty clearly see that cold front pretty well defined by where our cloud cover is, and we can see that generally in our area we're seeing a clearing trend, and that those clouds and the associated coverage is moving offshore, with most, if not all, of the convection located pretty far south from our local area. Moving on to the high-resolution model run for this morning at a 1 kilometer resolution on a 24-hour loop, we can see that we generally remain dry today with only a couple green blobs there moving through right there. In the overnight and early morning hours, there should be light showers that move through, so nothing too robust, as instability generally remains low for today, but maybe a shower or two in those early hours. And that brings us to our 24-hour risk chart here. As for our temperatures, we're expected to climb towards the low 80s with some broken cloud coverage now generally decreasing in coverage as we move through the daylight hours and into the early evening. We'll see that cloud cover build in just a bit in the early morning, and then once again things should start thinning out as the sun begins to break tomorrow morning. As for our winds today, they remain light and turn variable in those overnight hours, but well below any advisory criteria. Greens across the board as far as our precip goes, and no real chances of low ceilings for tomorrow. But we do have that slight chance of a shower tomorrow morning. And for the short-term risk chart here, Wednesday we can anticipate mostly sunny conditions, especially during the day, with a very slight chance of a morning shower, as mentioned before. And Wednesday night, mostly clear conditions with clouds progressively building in through those PM hours, and a low of 63. And then Thursday we can anticipate partly to mostly cloudy conditions and a high of 78, with greens across the board for all of our associated risk categories. And that is going to conclude the 8:15 daily weather operations brief. Be back at 10 o'clock with the 7-day outlook.